Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 10. That's correct, episode 10. That's right. Jan has it up there for all you finger spellers and counters.
Yes. Next week's going to be a problem. But
It is. Well, we'll go to me. You do 10, I'll do one.
okay.
It's Dan and Jan Go Yard, and it's all about baseball. And today is what? The 7th of August, 2020, whatever, 6, I think it is, 2026.
Yes. Yes.
And
Dog days of
earl
summer.
earlier in the week, it was trade deadline time.
It was.
And
What do you think of what the Phillies did or didn't do?
I always liked Arise. I always thought he was a great hitter when he was playing, I think, for Minnesota and Miami. And I think he played for Minnesota. I know he played for Miami. I know he played for San Diego. I don't know why people kept trading him and stuff like that because he's a three-time batting champ. He's leading the league now. I just think you need a guy who gets on base all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams just want power, home runs, home runs, home runs, you
Mhm.
know.
Right.
But yesterday was a great example. The Phillies had eight doubles, which was a lot.
That
They had
is.
seven in the first three innings, which is a record at Citizens Bank Park. And Arise had one. And I just thought the jury's out on these guys they got in the bullpen, but I like Arise and I hope they sign him to a long-term deal.
Yeah.
Um, how about the Colorado Rockies? How did they do?
Um, that's a good question. They mostly traded for prospects,
Oh yeah,
um, which of course you never know.
right.
Some kid playing in double A is who's lighting it up there. Is he going to be able to get to the show? I mean, that
Yeah,
it's a real guessing game, but um, they didn't do anything dramatic. They traded away a couple of bullpen guys and a center fielder that they didn't need anymore. And Doyle, he went to the White Sox, and but what they got back is pretty much just prospects.
well, they're a team that's building, and it seems like they've been
Yeah,
building.
they've been building since '93. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And there was a lot of talk about them trading Goodman,
I
and
would.
you would
Sure, I would.
for a number of guys. I mean, he's
I would. I would trade him if I could get back known quality pitching.
right.
That's
Okay.
the only way I would trade him. And apparently, the Red Sox were interested in him, and but I have no idea the nuts and bolts of that. But they wound up getting that catcher from Baltimore, who is a better defensive catcher. Goodman is he's a good power hitting kid if you throw
Yeah,
it down and in. If you throw him letter high, he ain't going to hit it out.
that's weird.
But the mentality today is I just throw it wherever, and if you make a mistake with him, it's in the seats.
Yeah,
Although he's got what 33 home runs, I think. I'll bet 30
yeah.
of them are center to left.
And he's a righty.
Yeah. So what does that tell me as a pitcher?
He's a pull hitter.
Hmm.
Yeah,
If I work him
and
away,
I would throw him outside.
yeah, it's well back in the day. It used to be a process of those power hitters. You look at Rizzo. He stood on top of the plate. You got to move him off,
Yeah,
back him up, and so you back him up and then feed him away. But what am
exactly.
I thinking? Anyway, I would have I would trade him. There's not a guy on the team I wouldn't trade for quality pitching, but
Yeah.
you got to know you're getting back quality pitching.
And there's not a lot of quality pitching to trade. People want to hold on to their quality pitchers, and the Phillies have some good quality. You know, their
Hmm,
top three guys are good. The
absolutely.
fourth guy is questionable. It depends on the day, and the fifth guy, who they brought back up, is questionable, and he was injured. They sent him to the minors for a better part of the season. Um, but pitching today seems to be hard to find good pitching, and it's
Hmm.
weird. They need you, Jan, to go in and straighten people
No,
out.
they don't want to
They
hear
need
what
you.
they
But
don't want to hear what I have to say.
it's interesting. Anybody that has a comment about their team, I don't care where it's playing, please comment below, and we'll get back to you about any comment, question you have for us. But um, I find that the interesting thing about the trade deadline, and they brought this up about a rise in the Phillies, is how it impacts the clubhouse and the team.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Now,
absolutely.
in your time with the Rockies,
Right.
okay, how
Yeah.
did you see that? What happened after the trade deadline or before and after the trade deadline?
Well, it was 95, our first year at Coors. And at the trade deadline, um, we had a catcher, Brad Asmus.
Oh, Brad Osmus, that
Mm-hmm.
guy. He was then the manager of the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's what is he, the bench coach now for somebody? Anyway,
yeah.
uh, we traded away and got two pitchers from the Padres.
Mm.
Um, God, one righty, one lefty. Maybe it's the best I don't remember their names.
For Osmus.
Yeah. So the lefty was an old veteran who came in um, with attitude.
That's not good.
And
Oh, something's going on with my camera,
well, you're all right. I see you.
but my backdrop is
It's
messed
got
up.
smaller, but it's okay.
It is okay.
Yeah. Um,
It got small. What am I
yeah,
doing here?
I don't,
Anyway, keep going.
but I had heard when I was in college, my baseball travel mate was a um, guy named Greg Riddock,
Right.
who signed with the Cardinals or Cincinnati or whatever, and he wound up managing the Padres.
I remember him.
And this left-handed pitcher was, I heard from some other players, had done all when he was with the Padres, had done all he could to undermine Riddock.
Wow.
So they traded him here. I guess we were unaware of that, and he did the same thing here. So a lot of it is, I think, a veteran ball player who gets moved to a club that maybe he was on a club that was 500 or better, and had a
Yeah.
shot at maybe the wild card or something, and then they get traded to a Rockies or the Royals or the Angels, some team that's a no hoper, and
Right.
they know this is the end of the road for them, and they ain't happy about it. And in baseball, you're going to get your money. Doesn't matter unless you
Yeah.
rob, steal, or kidnap somebody. So he was he was a problem. I just thought of his name, but I think I'll not mention it.
Yeah. Did they get rid of him?
Yeah, I think he was only here a year. Um, 92, maybe. I don't remember him around in 97. So it might have just been 95. I'm not sure.
Well,
But,
yeah,
it was the original Rockies were an eclectic group. I mean, they had some young guys just kind of getting their Bichette. He was just a youngster,
yeah,
and Galarraga, and then you sprinkle in some older veterans, and that's kind of a hard mix. And it was Don Baylor's first job as a manager, so he's trying to juggle this. And anyway, I he was not good in the clubhouse. This guy, so I know that happens. Um, you
yeah,
know, but if the front office is just looking at, well, this guy's a stud. He had 28 home runs and blah 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 blah, or this guy's got a 1.45 ERA or something. They may not care what he's like in the clubhouse. I don't know, but it is a factor.
yeah. Because they kept talking about a rise, how great he is in the clubhouse, how much energy he brings to the team, and if you watch him at the plate, I've never seen anybody like him at the plate. He's just so intense, and then he never strikes out. He struck out maybe 21 times all season,
Yeah,
and there are only up to that point only two guys. They did one of those fan questions on the screen during the game.
mm.
And one of the two guys, I don't know if it was, well, I know one of the guys was Don Mattingly,
Oh,
who's the manager of the team.
right, right,
So when Arise gets to the plate, he said, I don't like to strike out. I just don't like it. And you can see that he's taking stock of everything around him and
sure,
and then he walks away from the plate. Like after he just walks away and he does crazy things, and I'm laughing, and the commentators go, look at him, but that's his thing,
sure.
and he's brought some really good energy to the team. It's interesting to me because last year, I think it was last year, I don't know if it was around the deadline, but the Phillies had Nick Castellanos, great hitter, everything else, problem in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
I mean, it's well known. I'm not saying anything that's
right,
you know,
right,
hasn't been in all the newspapers and everything else,
sure,
if there's still newspapers, but you know what I mean,
right,
streaming and all that.
right.
And he was just he did things that were not cool to the manager, um, and not cool to the players. They see this and they go like, "What is this?" So the Phillies released him, and they owed him like God knows how much money. It's the same thing they did with what's his name, Walker, Taiwan Walker. Taiwan Walker was a good guy, but they're eating like $34 million worth of salary between the two
Sure,
of us.
sure.
But sometimes you gotta have good energy in the clubhouse, and,
Yeah,
and
oh, sure, you do. But when you think about it, you've got every clubhouse is a melting pot, so to speak, of Latin ball players and guys from different backgrounds in America, and you know, to mesh them all together for one unified goal
yeah,
that's a challenge. And Stingle once said, and it's so true, you have, as a manager, you have to find out who the leaders are or the leader is on your team.
yeah,
And you better get him on your side.
it's true.
And that's sometimes difficult. I know with the Rockies, for all the Latin ball players, Galarraga was the man. They just
Did
they migrated to him. He was such a good guy. He was just I don't know if I told you, I threw harder than most BP pitchers throw. So I
right?
moved myself back. I'd be back. I would have thrown off the mound but they wouldn't let me. So I
Wow.
threw off the front of the dirt, you know,
Right.
and because I cut it loose. And I remember I asked him one day, um, I said, do you, do you like the ball that fast? And he had a great smile and grin, you know, and he looks at me and he goes, I love it. He was just that kind of a guy. So the Latin ball players migrated to him, and he was a positive in the locker room by a
Yeah.
mile. So it's um, and I think the players have to sort through what is a leader. I mean, that's what is a leader. This
Yeah.
this is a little sidebar, but it still had something to do with baseball. I got to know Randy Gradishar, who I think is the best linebacker of the Broncos ever. He's in the Hall of Fame now. An incredible guy. Anyway, we went to the same church, and he came up to me and he said, "Jan, would you take me? Could I bring my son in for BP?" And I said, "Yeah." So his son and his best friend, we met at this was at Coors. We met there early, and I got him in. You know, he's the only guy I ever took through the clubhouse where the players were getting his autograph.
Wow.
And so anyway, um, we did it, and he had to, and I don't know if I told you this story. His two boys, I set them right down by the corner of the dugout, and nobody's in the ballpark.
Wow.
It's empty except for vendors, you know, people getting ready.
Yeah.
And so I told him, you can't move. Because you're going to get autographs. Every guy who comes out here is, you know, okay. So I took him up to get the tickets. I got him for the game, and we're walking up there, and I said, "What's your greatest moment in football?" I thought he'd say the Super Bowl, and he said, "Playing in the shoe against Michigan," because he went down.
Really?
Yeah, he said 100,000 people. He said there's just nothing like it, and so we go in, we get the tickets, we're walking. He was a super guy. Walking back, and we get back down there. Boys aren't there. Whoa. I told him you can't move. And well, I got to go in and get dressed out to throw BP. And so we're looking around. They're nowhere. And I'm looking in the dugout. So I asked one of the guys, did these two kids go? Are they in the clubhouse? No, they didn't go in there. It was like they just, you know. So Baylor is down by the first base coaching box, and he sees that we're a little distraught. And so he walks over with a big grin on his face, and he goes, there they are. He had let them come on the field and stand on the back of the cage during BP.
Wow.
And he gave them paper, and every guy who came out signed for him.
How cool is that?
That was, yeah, Gradishar was, he was a pretty neat guy.
Yeah.
And so that was a little sidebar from baseball to football, but um, you know, I'm sure his kids have never ever forgotten about it. I
Wow.
brought another guy in. This is a strange story. He's a close friend, and he said, "Hey, a buddy of mine, can I bring his son to the game, and would you get us a ball?" And I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure." Kid was about 10. So we're finishing up BP, and we had a starting pitcher back then named Armando Reynoso.
I remember him.
Yeah, and he spoke convenient English. In the clubhouse, he was, could communicate fairly well, but on the field, no hablo inglés. But he's standing out behind the screen behind second where we funnel the balls into to feed the basket. So Steve and this kid are standing along the first baseline. So I yell out to Armando, pelota, pelota. So I see him do something and he throws this ball over and it rolls, my feet. He stuck gum on it.
Oh,
I'm going to give this kid a baseball with gum stuck on it. Reynoso was a character. So I look at him and he's going. So he throws another one over. I give it to the kid. That kid grew up and became one of the men in SEAL Team 6 that took down bin Laden.
and what? Steel Team 6?
Took down bin Laden. He was one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Steve told me he's still got that ball.
Wow. That is cool.
Isn't it? Yeah. Is that? But
That's,
in '96, the Avs won the Cup, Stanley Cup.
yeah.
And they apparently brought it to Coors. So I show up. I'm going to go in and get dressed out. And this bad boy kid runs down. Jan, the Stanley Cup's here in the clubhouse somewhere. What? I wanted to see it. And Reynoso steps out of the door and Cup? I said, yeah, the Stanley Cup. It's here. Stanley's Cup? I think he thought it was a guy named Stanley's Cup.
It's for some reason, and I know I shouldn't do this, but I have a feeling that Armando Reynoso, I was just talking, Reynoso, pitcher, played for
Yep.
the Phillies. I don't know why. I think
He
that.
might have after the Rockies.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Atlanta, Colorado, New York Mets, and Arizona.
okay.
There you go.
He had the greatest pickoff move for a right-hander, maybe ever.
Wow.
He would, and I guess guys just couldn't figure it out. He'd come set. So there's home plate, and there's a runner on first. He'd come set, and he'd kind of look, and then he'd look back at second base. And runners you could almost see him. Why is he looking at second? He'd pick him.
Wow.
He had a quick pickoff move for a righty is quick feet. You got to have quick feet, and he had quick feet.
Yeah.
But he was a character. We were playing catch one day, warming up, like two guys down there and two up here, and I was playing catch with him, and I'm talking to the guy next to me. So I'm catching, and Reynoso goes. So I get the ball. I think he's looking at the other guy, and whoa! He had all the little tricks. Yeah.
That's great. A clubhouse, like any place, like a classroom, like
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
company, same
Yeah.
thing. There are some people who fight against it, some people who just play in it, and some people who just lead it. And those leaders, as you were saying earlier,
Oh,
how important leadership is. Go ahead.
well, with regard to Gratishar, we worked all that. I watched the game, it was all cool. Then I got a call from a woman I knew who ran an organization. They were going to have a leadership conference. This is my luck. And they invited uh, leaders, I guess class presidents, whatever, from most of the high schools in Colorado to this. And they wanted 4 people to talk about leadership. And this woman I knew was going to speak. And the gal who invited me said, "Do you know anybody else?" And I knew Randy did some of that, So I called him and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this talk with me and 2 women?" "Oh, yeah." So there were like 600 or 700 people at this,
Wow.
kids and their parents and all this stuff. Sadly, my daughters were there. And so I thought about what is leadership. Um, Lincoln was a leader. Hitler was a leader. You know, good, bad, or indifferent, what's the common thread that
Right.
runs through leadership? So I prepared this great speech. So it was at a hotel downtown or whatever. And so I got it all ready to go. Randy shows up. And what are the odds on this? He walks up and he looks at me and he goes, "Did your mother call my mother?" We had on the same basic clothes, vest,
What?
yellow, yeah, like a
Oh,
yellow
oh,
vest
oh,
sweater.
oh.
And I thought, what? So we go in, we're up on the stage, 4 of us, and the first woman goes, Randy goes, and then I'm to go, and then the last woman. Randy gets up and says, "You know, Hitler was a leader. Lincoln, he does my speech." I'm sitting there, I've got no backup. And I thought, besides the clothes, he steals my speech. And it was brilliant. And they all, yeah, yeah, that's great. Moderator goes, "Okay, Jan, I got nothing." So, in my own clever way, I said, "Well, what he said, ditto. Maybe we should break for lunch." I I couldn't. I mean, I thought,
Yeah,
come on,
that's great. That's great.
it was
One of
terrible.
one of the greatest lines, and it's in 2 or 3 of the books I wrote. Um, I refer to Dwight Eisenhower. We all know Dwight, but there may be people watching that are unfamiliar. They know Eisenhower
That could be it.
was president of the United States for 2 terms. I think let's see, 52, I think, to 60. He was the president right before Kennedy. And, and, um, and he was also a 5-star general, one of the few, the supreme commander of the Allied forces in World War II.
Right.
And his quote on leadership is getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. And I thought,
Understood.
that's it. It's like you get people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. Doesn't, I mean, you talk about Hitler, right?
Yeah.
He got people into people's head that this is what they should do, right?
Right.
Just
Right.
like Lincoln got into people's head because that's what they felt they should do. Getting
Yeah.
people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it is whether it's negative or positive. That's the crazy thing. And as a country, we're going through some crazy things right now.
Oh, sure.
Um, but that's what a leader does. He
Yeah.
convinces people that they want to do that.
Right.
And
Right.
greatly, managers are a different thing. They're following a structure. Okay, you have to do this because that's
Right.
this, and we need it by this time. But leaders get into people's heads more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's it's kind of a gift. It's not. Uh,
Yeah,
just you can be a super intellect, a superstar movie star, super baseball player. Doesn't make you a leader.
right.
It, you know, that's a separate kind of quality, and that people want to follow you. And I think a lot of that has to do with passion. As a leader, you have passion for what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but as soon as this thing, I tore my speech up and threw it away. I just it was so depressing that he got up and did my speech. I should have just walked up beside him and said, "That's right. Yeah, what he just said. That's
Leadership is
right."
a very interesting thing. It's really
Oh, it is.
a lot of
It's
charisma too.
yeah, yeah. Somebody once asked Larry Walker, um, you know, they kind of posed, "Why are you not a leader on this team?" He said, "I'm not a leader." You know, I mean, he realized that wasn't his gig.
Right.
It's and it can fall to people you wouldn't necessarily suspect
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're not the best at whatever it is that's going on, but they've got this quality that, oh, I want to get behind this. I want to,
Yeah. It's interesting. My reference point in baseball is always the Phillies
sure.
because I'm from Philly. But um, they were talking about energy in the clubhouse with Arise, and they said Arise brings that energy, and with Garrett Stubbs. Now Garrett Stubbs is the backup catcher. He was the third backup catcher until Marchand got hurt, and now, but Garrett Stubbs has been with the team for a number of years, and he's just an energetic guy,
Yeah,
and he impacts the clubhouse. And they say like Stubby, they call him, he impacts the clubhouse. He's got a lot of energy, and in a way, he will lead certain things like he designed overalls, with the
right,
thing,
right.
and they were Phillies overalls, and he designed them, and people started wearing them all over, and it was a whole kind of, if they knew that Stubby had the thing on, that it was okay to do it.
Sure, sure.
And leaders uh, get people to do what they want to do because they want to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Leadership is getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to
Yeah.
do it. And it's very interesting. A club without leaders is like
Toast.
bland.
Yeah.
Larry Walker's leadership was in his numbers.
Yeah, he led more by example,
Right.
There I think it was Mike Krzyzewski, the old Duke basketball coach,
Yeah.
said there are three kinds, which translates to people in general, but he said there are three kinds of athletes. And he was right on the money. He said there's the kind who that play for you that you need to encourage. You need to, boost them up and yeah, you're good, you can do this. Then there's the kind you need to kick in the tail. And then there's the kind you don't have to say anything to.
Right.
And that was Walker. You knew when he came out to play, you're going to get 100%. I mean, there was no question about it.
Yeah.
So that as a manager or a coach, you have to recognize, oh, where does this guy fit? Is this a guy I have to, that the kick in the rear end guys are going to be guys that test your authority.
Yeah.
So, how do you deal with them as opposed to some rookie or something that needs boosting, you know?
And how does it impact the rest of the team when you have a guy that you got to keep kicking in the rear?
Well, that's where on field leadership takes place, I think. Somebody, another player, the players on any team, you could walk into the Phillies clubhouse, hand each one of them a piece of paper and write down who are the three best players on this team. And they would. They know who the best players are.
Yeah.
Sometimes they wonder, does management and or the manager recognize this? Or is there a hidden agenda there? But
Right.
the players all know who the best players are. And they also know this guy leads just by the way he plays the game. This guy's a pain in the rear end. I mean, they know all that stuff. But you have to have in clubhouse guys who will go get in the face of somebody who's not toeing the mark, playing lazy baseball.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you have to count on them to police themselves to a degree.
I wonder if, and I think it's sort of the case with Castellanos, who was not a bad baseball player. I mean, for years he was really good.
Right.
Hitter. Not the greatest fielder, but adequate. But I wonder if the team had enough players on the team. I wonder how often one of the leaders in the clubhouse goes to the general manager and says, listen, this guy's a rotten potato here. And
I don't know that they go to the GM, but they may go to the manager
the manager, yeah.
and say, but I don't think they're probably telling the manager and or coaches anything they don't know.
Yeah.
If a guy's dogging it or laying down or whatever, and then payroll becomes a factor. We're paying this guy 10 million a year, get him in the lineup, that sort of thing. So um, it becomes a real conundrum, I think, for management, especially the manager. That you're really it's a juggling act for them to.
It is a juggling act, and it's, you know, back to leadership, the way baseball players, I know basketball players, are right up there with that. Maybe not hockey, or football players have these weird contracts, okay? But because it's not all guaranteed, things like that. But in baseball, it's guaranteed. I mean,
Yeah,
you sign for $50 million, or well,
you're
let's say
going to
you
get
sign for
50
thirty
million.
million dollars. Yeah, you're making $30 million, and that's it. It's up to you to lead yourself to reach the pinnacle of what they're paying you for. And sometimes, if you don't, they're still paying you.
Yeah, I mean, gee, if I hit 200, I'm still going to get my money,
Right,
and I don't have to bust my hump to. You know,
right.
it's I don't know. It's a tricky thing in sports because you're dealing with and you're dealing with a variety of ages and experience and um, you know some just different backgrounds. So it's a tough. I wouldn't. Well, I shouldn't say you couldn't pay me enough. You probably could, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I stayed away from, except for 2 years. I stayed away from coaching the team thing. I
It's
just
ego too. You're dealing with people with egos. Everybody has an ego, but some people it's out of control, or it's been
yeah.
massaged, because these baseball players who make it to the major leagues, they've been told their whole life how great they are.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
by the time they make it to the majors, I mean, by the time they make it to AAA, people are saying, you're a great ball player. You're great. You do that. You're great. And then all of a sudden they're in the major leagues and they're making, the minimum is almost $1 million. So I think it's 943 or something, but now they're making multiple millions of dollars,
Right.
and their ego has gotten them there to some
Yeah.
degree. How
Oh,
do you
sure. Sure.
how do you subjugate that ego, or have that ego be the feed into them playing to the standards you want them to play? And that's the deal. I
You
mean, my
can't, I don't think you can make people be what you want them to be. There was one, all my years with the Rocks, there was only one coach who shall stay nameless, who asked me once. I was sitting in the dugout waiting to go out and throw, and it was almost an indignant question. He said, "Did you ever play professional baseball?" And I said, I was older than all the coaches,
Right.
definitely older than all the players and all the coaches. So what, it was like, I said, no. Oh, he went out on the field. I don't
Did
know
you
what
tell him why?
no, I didn't want to justify his question.
Well,
But he was a coach who wasn't super popular with the players.
had he played in the majors?
No, he played minor league ball.
Oh, okay. It's interesting to me how many coaches never played in the major leagues.
Yeah. And of course,
Even managers.
think about how that um, kind of works with the players who are big time major league players, and a guy who never played in the bigs is advising him on hitting
Right.
or pitching or catching or whatever it is. There will be players who will want to say what that guy said to me. Did you play in the bigs? How do you know what it's like to try and hit off Koufax
Right.
or Randy Johnson or um, it's tricky. It's really. I mean, I saw some of that
I can
attitude.
believe it. I can believe it. It's like well, Rob Thompson, who was the manager of the Phillies for a number of years, after Girardi was let go, who played for the Rockies,
I loved him.
yeah, was a really nice guy, but
Did I tell you about? I've got a couple funny stories about him. He's
well,
got a
no, I
very
want to hear him. But Rob Thompson never played in the majors. He was a
oh right
Yankees
right.
bench coach for many years. But I want to hear about Girardi.
Well, he was a newfer when he came to the Rockies, and
Wait, was that his first team?
yeah,
Wow.
and he very serious, determined guy, super smart. He graduated from Northwestern in engineering, really smart guy. And this was '93, our first year, and he I'd come aboard to throw BP because most teams use coaches, but we had several coaches who were 5 days older than water and couldn't, and others who just couldn't, I guess, whatever. So I'd been doing it about a month, and we were walking, and he was always so serious. I mean, he was a good catcher. I mean, he really was a good major league, called a good game. We're walking off the field, and he's walking beside me, and he says, "Hey, Jan, it's really tough to find good batting practice pitchers."
Wow.
And I said, we're heading to the clubhouse. I said, well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. And he goes, well, I wasn't talking about you. Then we get to Coors. 95, I think, was his last year. It was. But he got crossways with management over union stuff. So
Was he the union rep?
he was.
Okay.
So anyway, my youngest daughter, Danny, at the time really dug him, really, really liked Girardi. And so I got a brand new ball. He's sitting out in front of his locker like this, rock back. So I get a brand new ball and I walk over and we could kind of kid. So I had the new ball. I said, hey, Joe, my youngest daughter, Danny, just really for some weird reason, thinks you're cool. Would, would you sign the ball? You know, and he's rocked back like this, and he goes, "Nope." He did, of course, but and then we were getting ready. They were going to go on the road to Chicago, and I was going to go throw at Wrigley. So I was pretty excited about it, and I knew he was from Chicago. He grew up there,
Right.
went to Northwestern.
Right. Northwestern, right?
Huh?
Northwestern.
Northwestern. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the dugout. We're still, playing here, and he comes over and sits down next to me, and he says, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "Sure." He said, "What do you do for a living that you can come out here every afternoon and throw BP?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, Joe, I'm unemployed." No, I told him, "Oh, that's cool." And I said, "You got to be pretty excited about going to Wrigley, Chicago." He goes, "Oh man, it's going to be awesome. My whole family's going to be there." I mean, he was so excited about going home and playing
Right.
in a family. And I don't know if I told you, so the Rockies got me tickets. The Rockies had the first base dugout, and right there, these seats, they got me two tickets right there.
First base dugout. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I can see it.
I,
Yeah.
so cool. And who's sitting right here next to me? His brother, Joe Girardi's.
Wow.
So it was,
Wow.
I thought the world of him. And I remember standing out in left field. The hitting instructor that year, my boss, was Art Howe.
A
And
great player. He
oh
was a
yeah,
good, really good ball player.
yeah,
Major league ball player. Yeah.
and manager
Yeah. And
and
manager. Yeah.
super smart guy. Anyway, we're standing out left field talking, and Girardi came up to take BP, and they usually had him hitting the bottom half of the lineup somewhere, 7, 8, 9, and so he gets in the cage and he starts hitting everything to right field. He's a right-handed hitter, he said,
Yeah.
so he can move runners. And I remember Art House said to me, "Look at that. Look at that. Look what he's doing. He's got tons of power. He could pull the ball here and put it out of the park, but he's a team guy. He's working on moving runners."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just the kind of guy he was. But
Yeah. I was excited when the Phillies hired him.
yeah,
Uh, they fired him during a losing streak, which ironically was just about the same amount of losses as when they fired Thompson, who was his replacement,
Predators. Oh yeah.
3 or 4 years later, and they put in Mattingly, who uh, I like. I always liked him when he played for the Yankees. He's
Right.
Donnie Baseball, and I think they said Kirby Puckett gave him the name Donnie Baseball. Uh,
Hmm.
I would have said somebody else, but I think it was Kirby Puckett. And when he talks about hitting, he knows what he's talking about. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
that,
Absolutely.
I do have that respect for him, and I can and his son is the general manager, as I've said before. So the prior general manager, Sam Fold, remember him? He
Yeah.
played for Tampa Bay and a couple others, and he was a tremendous defensive outfielder. The Phillies are, I believe, paying for him to go to Penn to get a master's degree in business management, and then they're
Wow.
bringing him back
Oh,
to into the business side of
sure.
the organization. So he's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
But guys like Mattingly, as opposed to Ted Williams. Now, Mattingly, you can to some degree compare the two because Mattingly was an excellent ball player and a
Oh
great
yeah. Yeah.
baseman and a good hitter.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that he was in the same hitting category as Ted Williams, but they Ted Williams was not the best manager because, from a leadership standpoint, from what I understand, he got frustrated that people didn't understand what he understood.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
You ever see the Ted Williams, like, he hit 312 here and 318 here and 364 there. And it was like one tiny corner where he wasn't hitting over 300. And so he couldn't understand why guys couldn't hit.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that in action. Yeah. Yeah.
But Mattingly has a different approach to it. And Williams, I remember seeing his last game, his last at bat when he hit a home run. And so that was pretty iconic. And by the way, I don't know if I ever said this, but I was at the Bucky Dent game. Did I ever tell you that?
You were?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Here's how that happened. I had a general manager of one of my regions up in, because people may or may not know this, I had stores all over the United States, and my Boston regional manager called me, and it was a holiday, and a Jewish holiday, and he said, "What are you doing today?" I said, "Why?" He said, I don't know how many tickets it was, but 8 tickets, 6 tickets, whatever, to the playoff game with the Yankees today. And if you can, why don't you come up to Boston? This was very early in the morning. I turned to my wife. I said, "Let's get dressed. We're going to Boston." I tried to call my brother. I couldn't get a hold of him, and I'm on the road going to the airport. I got called it in those days a travel agent. You get
Sure.
the whole thing. And there's my brother. He's coming in the other direction. I
Wow.
pull over. I blow my horn, pull over. I said, "Come on, turn around, turn the car around. We're going to Boston." Okay. And he said, "I'm not feeling well. I was just going over your house to tell you I'm not
Oh,
feeling well."
wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I said, "Okay." But John got tickets to the game. We're at the game. I think we're sitting in right field, if I'm not mistaken. And I go like, "This is incredible. The energy
Yeah.
in the place." And I had
Sure.
been to I had been to Boston to see games. And then all of a sudden, Bucky Dent hit that home run. And I never heard a place go absolutely silent
Wow.
like I did then. It was it was eerie.
Yeah.
It took the air completely out of the place. But I was there for that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to
Those
Boston.
special moments that,
Yeah,
baseball offers. It's, yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and all I tell people is I was at the Bucky Dent game, and they know exactly what that means. Like, you
Sure.
can't say I was at the Bryce Harper game. Which one?
Which
Okay,
one? Yeah.
or I was at the Joe DiMaggio game. Which one? Okay, but if you say I was at the Bucky Dent game, everybody knows it.
Sure. Like Carlton Fisk hitting the,
Yeah, Carlton Fisk. Carlton Fisk. I was watching that game, and they were playing. Who were they playing? The White Sox, I
I
think.
think so. Yeah.
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 So it was like, or maybe he was on the White Sox. No, no, no. He was on Boston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was with the Red Sox.
Yeah, yeah. He was with the Red
My
Sox.
team, by the way, has won
Yes, I see that. What?
25 out of 28
25 out of 28. What?
wins. Their
Oh
last
yeah.
20.
Oh yeah. This year. Yes.
Wouldn't
Anything's
right
possible.
now, wouldn't you love to see the Cubs play the Red Sox? They're both hotter than firecrackers.
I know. I know. The
That would
Cubs.
be an incredible World Series.
It would be amazing, except it really should be. I don't have to tell you, right? Should be the Phillies.
I know.
And they got cold at the wrong time. They were 2 games out. Now they're like eight and a half. But if the Cubs played Boston, there's two teams that would be iconic.
Oh,
I watched every game of that. I would.
absolutely. It's like Dodgers Yankees. I mean, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
just, it would just be, and you know, they're not going to, either one of those teams, they're not going to stay that hot the remainder of the season. It's not
No,
possible. We're
yeah.
getting into the dog days.
There's
And
50 games left for most clubs.
that
50, that's it.
that was my nickname on the over 30 league team, dog days of Sumner.
Talk to Sumner. That's great. That's
Yeah,
great. Yeah, I look. That would be great.
it would.
Red Sox. See, to me, I know this sounds weird, but when I look at baseball, I see Boston, Chicago. I see Detroit, Cincinnati. Okay, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, the Yankees, New York,
Yeah,
Giants, New York, the Dodgers, Brooklyn. I,
Brooklyn.
to me, it's 8 and 8.
Yeah,
Everything else is expansion
it is.
teams.
It is.
So
Yeah,
I,
those original. And
yeah,
look at Fenway and look at Wrigley. I mean, they're
iconic.
charismatic ballparks.
They
They're
are.
just special.
Yeah. If there was a World Series that didn't involve the Phillies, the Cubs and the Red Sox would be it. I mean, that would be
yeah, and who knows? I mean,
possible.
they both did some improvement at the trade deadline, and there seemed to be, you can tell they both truly believe they can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Council is the manager of the Cubs now, and he's got them. I told you I had to throw to him.
Yeah.
It was
What was
horrible,
that like?
horrible.
Why?
Well, not, he's obviously a brilliant manager and was a very good ball. He struck me as the guy. He was one of those guys who made the absolute most of the talent he had.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Yeah.
wasn't a five tool guy by any stretch, but
No.
he came to play. But what he would just stand on top of the plate, you
Oh
know,
yeah, that's him. That's him.
and I kept thinking, you're, you're too close to the plate. But he made it work. So,
Did you
I'd
make it
almost
work?
have to go,
He made some iconic plays when he was with the
Marlins.
Marlins, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a
But
team that's
he'll play small ball. He'll play whatever it takes to win.
yeah, yeah.
And then the, I guess, interim manager for the Red Sox, his dad was a great coach, manager.
Not Joey Cora. Joey Cora. No.
No, no, they got
He's
rid of him.
gone. Joey Cora.
It's
Yeah.
that's terrible. Anyway, he's got
I'm
him.
gonna ask Dr. Google,
Who's the manager of the Red Sox?
manager of the
His
Red Sox.
dad managed forever in the bigs. Um, that's terrible.
Manager of the Red Sox. There you go. Chad Tracy.
Tracy, Jim Tracy, he managed here. He managed the Dodgers.
Yeah, yeah,
Long. Anyway, he's got him. Chad's got him cooking. They believe they can beat
yeah.
anybody. So,
And they are.
oh yeah, yeah.
And
They
they
uh,
are.
they came in here and blew us out, and then they went out and won three from the Dodgers, and they never think they're out of a game. And
It's it is amazing. It
PCA is just,
I watch you know baseball's the beauty of baseball is it's 162 games.
yeah,
Okay. Or even when it was 154 games. Okay. Beauty of baseball is that. Okay. You can be hot as a pistol in April and May and cold as a freezer in June and July. And it's
yeah,
like the Phillies were so hot and they were like 2 games out. And all of a sudden, they had the worst July they've had in years. And it's like, and Schwarber hasn't hit a home run in like, I don't know, 2 weeks. It's a long time for him, maybe more. Uh, and then who knows? He could just turn and
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
10 of them.
If they throw him down and in, he will hit 10 in a row.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's amazing. And it goes back to Greg Council. Greg Council is a leader. That's what he
Yeah,
is. He, he,
yeah.
he leads by example, but he's also a leader. Schwarber is a leader. They all say that in the clubhouse. And once he gets his stuff together, whatever it is, and he's been sick. He's had some stomach viruses.
Oh,
People will. So he's a little weak, I think, um, literally, physically. But once he'll start doing it, they'll see the leadership,
yeah.
and they see it anyway. So a leader can carry a team even if they're not the best team
Oh,
from all the
absolutely.
stats.
Yeah.
And it's like, or they can cause a chaotic situation when they go down or not. It's like Ben Rice is taking over for Aaron Judge, right? So it's
Yeah. Look how the Yankees misjudge.
yeah, but it's like that's the beauty of baseball.
Oh,
And
yeah.
every year I get frustrated because the Phillies have won 2 World Series, two, and they're the oldest continuous same name professional team in all of American sports,
Oh,
and
wow.
they've won two. The Miami Marlins, who draw 12 people per game, and were what an expansion team in 19 whatever it was,
Five?
80,
Didn't they come in about the same time the Rockies did?
I think.
Yeah.
They they've won two. They've won two, and it's like, help me with this. What the heck is help me with this?
I
But
know.
maybe this year, who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Well,
Jan,
that's,
as usual, this has been great.
oh, yeah. It's always fun.
It
It's
it
always
is
fun.
fun.
And you
It's
and
it's
I can solve most baseball problems.
we could
I
just
mean,
let us in the front office. I mean, come on.
hello.
I'm
Bill.
gonna I'm gonna call him. Which by the way, talking about that, we'll stretch this out a little more. I don't know if I told you this, but back in 1979, beginning of 1980, I had a friend out in LA. I was on his radio show a couple times. Chris Ames was his name. He's not there now, but and we became fast friends. He would stay at our house, him and his wife, when they would come here, and he was really into the Dodgers,
Hmm,
and I was, as normal, into the Phillies.
of course.
And we came up with this idea because he also wrote movies. He wrote Class Action, and he was in it
Oh,
with
wow.
Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio and Gene Hackman. And so we said, why don't we do videos, videotapes of the teams during the season? And no one had done that before. No one. And 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 then take the highlights out. And if they get to the playoffs or not, okay, in the World Series, sell them.
Hmm.
So I said, and believe me, no one had done that. Now everybody does it. But
Right, right.
I went and talked to Bill Giles because I knew the guys at the Phillies. And Bill Giles said, "What is it with this video stuff? I don't know. I don't know." And we had a Big League Productions was our company and everything else. And he basically said no. I said,
Oh,
Phillies go on to win the World Series. And what's the first thing I see? Get your highlight videos. They stole the whole thing. I didn't hold it
oh,
against it because I was too excited for the Phillies, but I went like, Bill, you just ripped me off. And I
yeah,
had letters to him and everything else. But anyway, let them all live and be well.
yeah. Okay,
It's,
if you say so.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
you know,
it's well, as you well know, it's a dog eat dog world. So,
it's a business. It's a
oh yeah,
business.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
That's it.
sports are big business.
A big business, a big business.
It's
Uh, and then when they were selling the Phillies, when they were talking about it, they called me, but they wanted $300 down. And I said, "You're out of your mind. $300? No way. I'm not paying that." No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Anyway, Jan, I love you. This has been great as usual. Folks,
yes.
don't forget, subscribe to Digging for Dan and Jan Go Yard.
Oh, and
Okay.
digging.
Don't forget that. Jan was also on Digging for Gold, episode 64, I think, but this is episode 10
And
on Dan and Django Yard. Subscribe, tell your friends about it. It's all
yes,
about baseball. All my baseball loving buddies out there, do it. And we'll
absolutely.
see you next time on Dan
Absolutely.
and Django Yard. Jan, thank you, sir. We'll see you
Thank you,
next time.
Dan. Take care. Good
You
luck.
too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Wish I could leave. There we go.